Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about a comment I got the other day, a question about how to deal with my emotional triggers and not have them affect everyone. Watch this video. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please click the little subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Let's dive in. So this client asked a question about how to deal with emotional triggers that are from childhood and not have that affect her situation or the people she's surrounded by in the moment. We all know when we have triggers, sometimes they take over, they feel extremely intense and like you have to react on it right away. It feels real. And so one of the things I do, as you know, is I practice being the neutral observer. But if you haven't practiced that enough to be natural and automatic in the moment, what I suggest is what I created is this structured healing approach. In all of my classes, I suggest that we take 30 minutes a day, morning or night, or both, and tell ourselves, this is my time. So I was coaching this client into the situation where I said, okay, you get totally triggered and you're in the situation with people that you don't want to feel the wrath of your trigger. You don't want to change. You don't want to react. So tell yourself gently, quietly, I hear you, I see you, I feel you. We're going to deal with this later in my 30-minute time zone tonight so that I can give you the attention you really deserve. This is how we start to reparent. This is how we start to kind of parent that inner child who thinks I need to react right now to get my needs met, to get justice, right? You know what I'm saying? But we're telling our inner child, no, I see you. Yeah, you're totally legit, totally valid. However, this is not the situation, because if I react in this situation, guess what? It's going to be working against me. We don't want to do that because we want to self-partner. So what that looks like is I'm going to be the adult and tell my 5-year-old that it gets to tell me, express everything it's going through, everything it's feeling, everything that's going on in those 30 minutes. And in those 30 minutes tonight, the stage is for the 5-year-old. The 5-year-old is going to say, no, that was ridiculous, and this is what triggered me, and this is how I felt, and you get to parent yourself. I suggest writing it out. This is what happened. Put it, child voice, this is what happened. Adult voice, okay, well, if it wasn't me, but it's a child, this is what I would suggest doing. This is actually how I validate you feeling. This is actually what we should do to feel justified in this situation. When we don't react, but we can take that neutral observer stance, we can have our little 30 minutes to like work it out. Then we can respond from a more mature version of ourselves, and that helps us build trust with our inner child. It helps us integrate our inner child, and it helps us feel more solid, stable, and grounded in those situations where we know, shoot, triggers coming up. As you start practicing this over and over and over, and you become repetitious with it, but you also become very consistent. Inner children, like children, grow with consistency, grow in their confidence, grow in their self-trust, grow in their trust of others. So right now you're building the trust between your inner child and your adult self. The way we self-partner is by trusting self and having our own back. If we can show our inner child that I've got your back, you know, those 30 minutes, that's when you get your time. What starts happening over time is you'll feel that trigger and you kind of get excited because you know you get the stage later. Think about it. It's not other people that you need to validate you. It's you that needs to be self-validated. So if you practice this way of self-validating the inner child, the emotional triggers, the overwhelm, it starts to feel more controlled. It starts to feel like, okay, I know I get my time, so I don't have to freak out right now. It starts to feel like, oh, I know that no matter what, that is my consistent time every day, so I will get to speak. I don't have to do it right now. If it's super overwhelming and you don't have control over it, like I just have to let it out, you can let it out, and then later, when you have that 30 minutes, you can write down why you wish you didn't do that, or write down what it did for you, and see if there's a better, more healthy, responsive way that you can do that in the future. It's not going to happen overnight. This takes time. Everything takes consistency, right? You didn't learn how to ride a bike in a day. But if you did it a little bit every day, you got really good at it. Same with this. This is why clients will be like, well, how do I change this right away? I'm like, you're not going to like to hear this, but you got to put in the work, meaning a little bit every single day, right? I started meditating every single day about 12 years ago, every single day. To me now, my meditative state is pretty natural, where I'm like, ooh, I can channel something, or I can go in my zone, or I've got a download, because I've been doing it for so many years that it's a natural state where I'm like, I have a minute, hold on, I'm getting a download. That's the experience. So as you are less and less reactive over time, you're going to notice, oh, I always have that time for myself to self-validate. So instead of being like, I got to let this out right now, you'll be like, I got it. Neutral observer, take a back seat to your trigger and observe what's going on and start to become that wise mind who's watching this without that cover, right? Without that film of what happened, without that film of I'm not validated, without that film. When you don't have that in the way of what's happening and you can become more neutral, you can also become more wise, right? Wisdom comes from experience, but wisdom also comes from observing yourself enough to know a bigger sense of you, a more holistic approach to who you are and how you deal with things. And then you get to actually be the controlled person in your life who now is like, I know what's best for me. I'm not going to react like that. The inner child is the reactor. The wise guide inside is actually the responder who takes in what's happening, upgrades it, gets wise about it, sees the bigger picture, and then integrates what needs to happen, right? Guys, I have to let you know, Inner Work 2 starts December 2nd. Trauma bonds and abandonment wounds. If you're self-abandoning still and you have work to do around this, or you're going through withdrawal, please check the links below for Inner Work starting December 2nd. It's Inner Work 2. Other than that, please check my Instagram. I'm doing daily meditations now for you guys. Please share this video with at least one person you think it might help. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.